Hello everyone, this is Raul Catayud from CYPE. I hope everything goes well from every part of the world you are watching us. Today, Sonsoles, our technician, also known as Sunny. Hello, Sunny.
Hello everyone, hi Raul.
She's going to show us a review of these programs, Open BIM Water Supply and Open BIM Sewerage, which are parts of the CYPE software suite for urban infrastructures. These programs allow the automatic design, analysis, and check of water supply systems and sanitary collection systems. The key points are the following ones: how easy it is to work with them, the multiple reports and drawings they generate, and how similar they are one to another. Once you learned one, it's just like the other one, okay? It's the same. So, Sunny, can you show us the softwares?
Hello everyone, thank you Raul. Sure, but let me show you one cool thing first. So let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so as you know, both of today's apps start by Open BIM. Their names start by Open BIM. So what about it? Like, what's Open BIM? Open BIM is our way to work with this because, like, let me share my screen again. Okay, so Open BIM. What does this Open BIM mean? It means that we could share our water supply and storage systems that we're gonna generate today with other professionals. Once we create them, we can share it through BIMserver.center, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So BIMserver.center is CYPE's platform to create and share BIM projects with other professionals. So if you Google BIM server and you click on this first link, it will go, well, you will first have to register. I'm already registered and signed into my account. But here I would find my projects, the collaborations I share with other professionals, and the BIMserver.center store, which I will talk about it later on. Let me just show you, because our colleague Alfonso has shared with me a BIM project. Here are some of the layers that BIM project has. And I want to show you this because I'm going to show you a BIM model. It doesn't have all these layers. I only uploaded some of them, but just to show you all how complete this BIM model could be. Like, for example, Alfonso has some structure into it and some other layers, but let me show you, because here at CYPE Architecture, here we have a BIM model of a city fully made using CYPE software apps. So for example, if I zoom in a little bit, we can see the place, like the side of the city, and we can see some infrastructure, and I could make some of these layers see-through. For example, the models I have in this are the side, some of the urbanism, some of the infrastructure. So let me make the side a little bit, sorry, the urbanism a little bit see-through, so I can show you what today is going to look like. So by making that layer see-through, you can you see the infrastructures, Raul?
Yeah, I can see them.
Okay, so here we have gas supply in yellow. Okay. We also have electricity supply in red, and today's subject, which is, let me make those other two see-through, water supply and sewerage systems. They have already been placed in a BIM model, but this is what we're gonna generate with today's apps, these systems, okay? So let's get into it. Let's start with Open BIM Sewerage. So this is Open BIM Sewerage main interface. This is what it will look like when you first enter the software. So I wanted to show you this interface because all CYPE software's main interface looks just the same, okay? You will always find a column where you can either create a new job, upload some of the examples that come with each software, or go into any directory in your computer and find any file you may already have. So that's it. I have some recent files. When the first time you go in, you won't have any recent files, but this is very useful because like the software shows you like the 6 more most recent files, and you can be, it's very probable that you're working in either one of these files. And then we will find the help column. So you will always be able to find the user's manual and some a link to our website with the new features and some other quick guide and other documentation of each software. So let's start a new job here at Open BIM Sewerage. If I click new and I name it, I'm going to name it Sewerage System Example. The first thing, yes, I want to override it because I'm going to generate it again. The first thing the software asks us is if we want to link our new job to an already existing BIMserver.center project, the one like I showed you earlier, or if we want to create a new one, or if we don't want to link it to any project. Let me link it to one that already exists, but we could create, as I said, we could create a new project right here. So I'm going to click accept. This is going to be the project I'm going to send the information to. Let me not import any files yet, and I click accept. Okay, so the first menu that comes up is the general data of the installation, and this is the first thing that we have to insert.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Sunny, but is this interesting or important to the following steps of the program?
Yeah, so it's mandatory to first insert the general data because this is the data that the software is going to use in order to automatically design and analyze the system later on, such as the formulas it's going to be following, the design criteria. So we have to set this general data first. Actually, for example, I could, of course, give it a name, a title, sorry, I could say the address or the town this job is at.
And all of this is automatically, you said, Sunny.
What automatically?
The design and analyze when.
Yeah, we'll see it later on.
Yeah.
This is like the general data. Yeah, which the data that the software is going to use in order to analyze and design. So we can specify for some elements, but this is the general, like what the elements are going to be, the rules the elements are going to be following, okay?
Okay, perfect.
So the only thing that is actually mandatory to select in this menu in order to go on to another menu is actually the materials and the soil, okay? We have to select at least one material here. And for example, we have a CYPE library here. It's got plenty of materials, some of the most used. I'm going to select C9000 tube HA, and that's the material I'm going to be using for the sewers. That's the material for the sewers for the whole job, okay?
Okay, and can we create our own library with our own parameters and Materials?
Yes, we can. So, of course, the software comes with one, this types library, but we can always create our own library here by clicking on libraries, and we could add a new library. We could call it whatever we wanted to, and we can always start adding new materials and their diameters which go for that material, because the library I just imported, the one I'm going to use for the job, this C9002HA, it's not only a material, but it comes with, let me show you,
Yeah.
because I can edit also CYPE's library and show you what this material has. So it comes with all these diameters for that material. What it
Okay.
said is the material factor, which is important for the formula. So that's how you could enter your or create your own library. I'm going to use CYPE's library just for the example. And as the same as the material, like we have to select at least one material for these sewers and at least one material for those sewers to be placed at. So that's on the soil they're going to be placed at. I'm going to choose this cohesive soil that's being already described. It comes with site library, but we can always again set our own library here by clicking here. We could add a new library of soils, and that would be able for other jobs for future jobs to be used. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we could set the dimensions here, like the units and the decimals, and we'll go into the next tab. So next tab is parameters. Here's where we can select the type of formula the analyze is going to follow. So for everyone that's watching, you are probably from all over the world, and I'm sure in any code in the world, it's either one of these formulas that they use. So this is very customizable software. It can be used all over the world. And then we'll have to select some other parameters here. I'm going to select that.
And
But
where can, sorry to interrupt you, Sunny, but where can we find help about these parameters?
Okay, thank you for that question, because this is common to all of types of softwares. You will always find a help icon just like this, where it actually gives you some info about what those parameters mean. The ones that you have to select, it helps you with the selection because it gives you information about it, just like the formula comes with the formula itself. Yeah. Exactly. And you can always, through the insertion of the data, you can always use either one of these help tools. Okay, so as I was telling you, like we only need a material and a soil to go into another menu. So before we go into limits, because this is it's associated to the load cases, let me click accept just for now, and I'll show you how to come back to this menu later, okay? I'm going to click accept, which will open the job. The general data will always be here to set again, and we'll go back to it. But let me show you, because that limit tab that we were going to go to is associated with the load cases. So the question that everyone that's fellow would have is like, where those load cases come from? And they came from here. You can edit the load cases here and add new ones. I'm just going to leave it with wastewater and rainwater, because today's example is going to be a combined sewer system. So just to make this clear, let me clarify for everyone. A combined sewer system is where like both the water waste from our buildings and the rainwater will go together in just one sewer system, okay? We have sanitary sewer systems in most cities, but some other cities have combined sewer system, and this has, of course, when it rains, there's a combination of wastewater and rainwater. So I'm going to set that combination right here. So it's either going to, our sewer system, it's either going to be working with only wastewater, okay? Or like wastewater is only going to, like only the low case for wastewater is going to intervene. But the other combination would be that both wastewater and rainwater are coming into our system together. Okay, that's the wastewater plus rainwater combination. And for those combinations, we have to set, I went back to the general data again, and to the limit tab, okay? Because here's where you actually pick which is going to be your maximum velocity, minimum velocity, maximum slope, minimum slope, and maximum depth. So why are these data important? They're important because when you, like, only wastewater is operating, if the diameters of the sewers is too big, is too wide, the velocity can be, the speed of that can be very slow and collapse, like generate some like bad smells and everything. So you can select those parameters here. You can select the maximum slope. They come with the data that I want to set. So let me go into coefficients tab. Here I'm going to select that the flows are going to be assigned by flow, and they're going to be 4.4. Again, like if you have any trouble setting this data, you can always click here, and some information about that parameters will help you set them. And then excavations is setting the minimum depth and the road surface thickness, so we can set our parameters. So this would be it for the general data. Okay. Again, you can always use the help icons. But let me show you how to start the job, okay? Because here we don't have any either any sewers nor any manholes, wastewater manholes done. So let me start with that. What are the three types of, like, three ways to insert those? We're going to start with nodes, which would be like the wastewater manholes, and the sewer dump. So the sewer dump. So let me explain. We have three ways, okay? One way would be creating new nodes just from scratch and clicking on the screen. So for example, that first node has been created. Let me click on another part of the screen so you can see that if we knew the distance between those nodes in X and Y coordinates, we could enter a new node just from the last one we have entered. Okay, that would be one way. Another way would be, let me delete these ones so we can actually, so if I press the 0 key on my keyboard, this calculator comes up, but this, hold on, I will have to insert a new node. So pressing the 0 button key on my keyboard, this calculator will come up. So what's this calculator? This is a way to enter your nodes by coordinates. Like for example, if I want to set one node at 0, 0 coordinates, I will enter it that way. Again, if I click on the 0 key on my keyboard, I would be able to set another, let's say 30 meters away from this one. Let's click here, and 30 meters away, I would be able to insert a new node. This is very helpful and very easy, because if you know the coordinates, this is instant. Like this is just like that. But there's an even easier way. Let me show you, because if either someone else has granted you a DXF file or DW file of your system, or you have dedicated the time to create it, you could always import it. And let me show you. Because if you have a drawing like this, a template that has been generated at a drawing program, a drawing software, you can use these other tools, which are called template object snaps. And I'm going to activate, for example, the center, because someone has granted me this DXF file, and the nodes have been generated with like a red knot, and this is as excuse me, this is a circle. So if I click here, hold on, let me click on node and then enter like new node, it will snap that template and actually place the nodes where the template is. So this is an even easier way to do it. So let
Very
me,
helpful.
yeah, hold on a minute. Let me just make it invisible just for now, because I'm going to show you how to edit these nodes. Okay. I forgot to tell you here but it's great because we can always go back here in general data, in edit general data. Here at coefficients, we could set the reference for each node. So some nodes are going to receive water, like they're going to be wastewater manhole. So I'm going to call it WM this stands for wastewater manhole. Some other nodes are going to be the end of our sewer system, which are called sewer dumps. So I'm going to name them SD stands for sewer dump. And then the prefix for remaining nodes, which are nodes that neither receive new water, they're just transitory nodes. I'm going to call them that exactly, transition nodes. So I'm going to click accept. And why is that important? Because once we have created the nodes, we can edit the design data for the node and tell it if it's either a wastewater manhole, a sewer dam, or a transition node. Okay. So this first node of mine is going to be a wastewater manhole, and it's going to receive water waste from at least 9 units, which would be like 9 houses. They will receive the wastewater from 9 houses, and I'm going to make it receive the direct rainwater of 27 liters per second. Okay. So another very important thing in sewer systems is that they are gravitary, they work by gravity. So we'll have to set the ground level elevation and the soil elevation. So let me set that right here. This first node, it's just this. The next one, let me do it fast because it's another wastewater manhole. So
Okay,
let me do exactly the same, but with another. Let's say this one receives the wastewater from 7 units and the rainwater exactly the same, 27 liters per second. The elevation is going to be 49.68. And the next one is going to be a little different. So I told you there were three kind of nodes. So the only one that receives information, because it's the only one that receives water from either wastewater or rain, were those wastewater manholes. But here we have transition nodes that it's just to, I call it transition node 1. It's just a point, it's a node that doesn't receive any water, any new water, just water from the other manholes goes through it. This is for design, like if the sewers are not straight, they have to go into a node in order to rotate. So let me set this right quick. And the last one, of course, I forgot to tell you, for any sewer job, we have to have at least one wastewater manhole now for like the incoming water, and at least one at the end of the sewer system, at least one sewer dam. So that's what I'm setting. I'm going to set this one. And once they're set, I want to show you what the 3D view of this looks like, because like for now, no, hold on, let me actually add some spans so you can see it better. Okay, so we created nodes. Now we're going to create spans, which are actually the sewers that go from one manhole to another. So
Okay.
let's just, it's as easy as like clicking on the nodes and taking it to the next node. So I just click here and take it to the next one. Just like that, I just inserted 3 spans or that unite those manholes. So here at the 3D view, we can see that those nodes that we entered, that we just inserted, they're actually like manholes, wastewater manholes and spans here. And this is the 3D view. Okay. Any questions for now, Raul, or anyone?
Well, I was thinking about, apart from this, that this is very interesting, but what kind of reports and drawings can we get from the software?
Okay, let me
mind
show you
showing
that.
us?
Let me show you that when we get to the example. Okay, let me show
Okay.
you one last more easy way to
Okay.
enter this data. Okay, because there is one
Perfect.
last, like, if that wasn't easy enough, there's one more, like there's one more way to do it. So let me create a
Okay.
new file line and I'll show you that way how to you could create a new one. We could click here on new again and set, for example, I'm gonna call it new. I'm not very interested name, but let me call it new 1.
Okay.
And I'm gonna click accept, because what I want to show you is I'm actually going to link this new job with another, with the same, actually the same project that we linked it earlier. But what I'm gonna do this time is I'm gonna click here at import, because let me, I don't know if you can see it there. I'll show you later when we watch the 3D, but
Okay.
someone has granted me an IFC4 file of the digital terrain model. So someone has granted me this information of what the elevation of the terrain actually is. So there's an even easier way to set that data for those nodes, which is going to be this. Let me show you. The name is not important. Remember, the only thing we needed to set was that one kind of material for the sewers and another kind of material, like one kind of soil, and that would be it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to click accept. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Because I didn't establish the IFC file they granted me. It's a very useful tool, but if I use it right, give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever I click accept, like whenever I link this to a BIM server project and I click here, and I import a digital terrain model, I actually need to set the local coordinates for like the person who has granted me this model, this IFC file, has created this digital terrain model with some local references that I have to establish. So give me just a minute so I do it right. This saves you a lot of time, and I'm gonna show you right now how quick it is to actually create a new job and set those data. If someone else has either someone else or yourself have actually created a digital terrain model of those DXF files that I was telling you earlier. So yeah, now I'm going to select that material again. Click accept and one kind of soil. Okay, then let me import that DXF that we uploaded earlier again, but let me set it with some things that I've been working on. This placement and a rotate angle to place it right where I want it to go. And I'll show you how fast it can be. So we have to make it visible, of course. If we don't, then we don't see it. It's that easy. So we have to make it visible. And okay, so now you see a lot of lines. Those colorful lines that you see on the background are actually the digital terrain model that someone has given me. This is what I was trying to show you earlier. We'll see it, but let me, hold on, let me switch that off just a minute. We'll see it later, don't worry about it. So what if I have the digital terrain model in a DXF file that someone has granted me? Then it will be as easy as this. I create new nodes. I click on the template object snaps, click center. And for example, let me create this one. So I create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as easy as that. Like we have prepared the job ourselves to be that easy. Let me make this actually invisible. And this one actually bothers me a little bit too, but let me just make it visible just for now. So I click here and I actually create new spans to connect these nodes. So if it goes wrong, we go back, that's okay. Okay, let me see, just a minute. The digital array model is there because it hasn't gone anywhere and it's right there. It's just been hidden, so let me find it. So here in nodes, spans, no, nodes, update information, longitudinal view. Okay, so I just hid, this is okay because like like everyone who's watching could have this too. We could have hidden, purposely, could have hidden the terrain model and it says here, in view, I click show and hide and I can either be showing it or hiding it. So let me create those spans right quick. The nodes have been created just like that, like so easily. This is a lot of time when you don't have these very useful tools. So let me create just some to show you a 3D view that will actually resonate with people who know what the sewers actually look like. So here I have inserted the nodes and the spans just like that. And I can do one more cool thing because if you remember, we had to assign the ground elevation to those nodes. Can you see that this has been already filled? Because like the software reads the elevations from the digital terrain format. So they're right there. We inserted them, but the data is now complete there. So let me show you what it looks like with the 3D view. Let me make the terrain a little bit see-through, not entirely see-through, but somehow see-through, so you can see how those manholes are actually placed in our terrain, and we can see that they are actually underground. This is like ground level. So this is what the streets would look like, the manholes of the street would look like. And we can see the 3D. So that's an even easier way to introduce our sewer system. But going back to what you asked me earlier about what kind of reports and drawings can we generate with this software? Let me use one of the examples and I show you. I actually, would you like to recover them? I say no, because I already prepared. This comes with the example, okay? So these are some of the jobs that come with the softwares, for example. And this is, again, a sewer system. Very, like, it's, of course, a gravity system. So it has to be this way. And so where's the analysis part? Where do those data of the analysis come from? So if we analyze the job, and it's as simple as that, clicking there, we have analyzed the job and it gives us a report of how many nodes and spans are out of our general data specifications. And let me show you, because there are many ways to consult these results from the analysis. So one of them would be just on our screen. So what you see on red on our screen is some of the spans don't work for the maximum envelope. The maximum envelope is for all the combinations, the worst ones from each, like it takes the results from the worst combination of all. So it's normal that this envelope, some of these spans are not correct, because let me show you. Here we can go up and down on the combinations. So let me go down a little just to show you another key of results. So here we have the combination for wastewater and rainwater combined. Okay, so this is the combination that we created where both wastewater and rainwater are going into our system, which would be in wet weather. We will have this combination. So you can see here, Raul and everyone, that these spans actually are normal. They meet all the requirements that we have set in the general data. Okay, there's only one note that would ask us that the maximum depth is a little bit off. You can see it right there. That is a bluer, like a bluish color. But for this combination, which is one of the important ones, everything meets the requirements. Another one would be wastewater. When only wastewater, which would be this case, they will have two important combinations here. It's only wastewater working and wastewater and rainwater, which was the previous one. Okay. So for only wastewater, we can see that the velocity limits, like the minimum velocity limits in some of these spans are not being, are not, don't apply, like the specification, don't meet the specifications that we have set on the general data. And there's another way to consult the results, because if we go click here on digital, and we click here on digital section, we can actually consult these results on another longitudinal section, which is even more easy to actually interpret, right? It's very clear that that's water running through the sewers, and we could select here the different combinations. For example, that's only for wastewater, but let's see what wastewater and rainwater look like. This is what it would look, our sewer would look if both wastewater and rainwater are going in at the same time. Okay, so here's two ways to consult and actually edit our results if if our system doesn't meet the requirements, then we'll have to adjust parts of it. But let me show you, because we have plenty of reports and drawings that we can generate. And that's right here on these icons. If you click here, reports, it will give you endless kinds of reports that we can generate. This is the most complete one that I can generate. It comes with the description of our job, a description of the materials we've used, the formula we have used, the combinations, the node report, the notes report, sorry, the span report, the spans report. And actually you can also generate those drawings that you were asking me about earlier. I've generated two, but you can generate and customize these drawings. I click accept, and just like that, let me show you what kind of drawings the software has generated just like that. Okay, so this is like the job, what it would look like in 2D. This is that longitudinal section with all the data. You can consult the ground level elevation. You can know where that the depth of the manhole, and you can consult these create these drawings very, very easily. Okay, so that's it for Open BIM Sewerage, I believe, right? This is what we wanted to show.
And what about, because you said OpenBeam water supply worked very similarly, can you show us the similarities
Yeah,
of
for
this other
sure.
program?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into, let me click accept. Let's go into Open BIM water supply. So for instance, like you can see, I just opened another software. This is right here. It's Open BIM water supply. It's not Open BIM Sewerage anymore. It's water supply. It looks just the same. This is like a very easy way to start using all our softwares. They look very similar. So if I have the file column, the recent files, and the help. So for this example, so they're so similar that let me actually use the example job, because the introduction is just like the insert of elements and everything is just the same. Here we have again the general data, okay, general data, parameters, limits. Limits are a bit different for nodes in water supply sewers, but they like we have more combinations because for each node, like the other ones could either be wastewater or rainwater. But what about our like these nodes for water supply? They can either be going to a house, they can be giving source to a hydrant. It could be actually giving water to a green. Let me show you the combinations, the log cases for sure. No, hold on, because I reset them. So we could have all those other combinations and we would have to set them. So, but the tabs are very similar, right? They look just like the other, and they, of course, they have the help icons, so you can always find help if you don't know what those parameters mean. So everything is just the same. We can create new nodes, we can edit them, we can assign the design data, we can edit them, like I told you. The elevation and everything here can be set, but it's not as important. But we could also import the digital terrain model again and let it read all those terrain and data elevations. So it would be just as simple as the other, and spans look just the same. Okay, so let me analyze this one and show you that the results are also very similar to be consulted, because again, we have the maximum envelope since they are the worst combinations of it, like the worst result of each combination. They never meet the requirements because you have to consult them by combination, and the combinations, again, you have a key to know what the colors on the spans means. And you could again consult well, we have one different tab from the other software would be elements. So we could add a new element in between the spans. If I click here, for example, and go ahead and edit that element, we have valves and pumps. And we have all this data that we can actually customize those valves and pumps. So we have here, we will have to generate the character flow, determine the curve for the elements. But that's anyone who knows about water supply knows that those are the elements that we need to generate a water supply system. So one other difference, and it is not in the use of the software, but just for everyone to know, in the other like sewage systems can only be branched. Okay, can only be branched systems. This one you see that the water to this node can either come from this or this span. That's called a gridded system. So only for water supply, we can generate actually either branched gridded systems or mixed, both of them. Like if I inserted a new node here, this node would actually be branched to this other to this system. This is a branch and this is a grid. So for water supply, that's the difference. Like we can create gridded, branched and mixed systems. We have these elements, but everything else, Raul and everyone else, is just the same. Like it's the same thing from like, it's as easy as learning one of them, because you will always be able to know the other one. They work just the same. Okay, so I think that those are the similarities and the differences between those programs, Raul. I don't know if you have any more questions.
Yeah, I think the last part would be where can we download these programs?
Okay, that's right. So after all this talking, where can we find these apps? So as I told you earlier, we have our BIMserver.center, which is CYPE's platform. Here at BIMserver.center, we had two tabs where there were my projects, my contributions, and I told you earlier there was a store. So the store is where you will be able to find this and every other CYPE app. So for example, for today, we used Open BIM Storage. We can either be found by searching that, like just type in Open BIM or Sewerage, for example. If we search Sewerage, it will come up, okay? Or we could actually go into, let me go into water drainage and water supply to show you what other apps related to these ones we have, okay? So for water drainage, we don't only have the actually the urban infrastructure of water waste. We have inside building water waste too systems, so we can create it with site plan BIM sanitary systems. And the same would be for water supply. We have talked about Open BIM water supply, which is for urban infrastructures. That is the urban infrastructure of the water supply. What about inside our building? How can we generate that other system? That would be with this other app called Site Plan BIM Water Systems. And that's where you can find them. That and every other tool. We have more than 150 apps. So that's where you will find them.
Okay, thank you very much, Sunny, for the presentation and the demonstration.
Thank you.
I think now it's pretty clear how this program works, these two programs works. And the last thing I want to tell you, everyone, is that you can also, if you haven't questioned yet, you can send us your questions. And I don't want to forget that we have a special offer that you can send us through our email your queries and your doubts. So this special offer it's only for the ones that will send an email through this address that is going to appear right here, because we have to check if you qualify for this discount, okay, depending on the region. So if you don't have any more questions, I think this is all. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this was worth it to everyone, and goodbye. See you in the next webinar.
Well, goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you.